Whiskey fam, sit down, grab a pint or a dram, and listen to us talk about the Calavida Cantina. I have my good friend Martin Ulloa, and we're going to talk a little bit about his new venture, specifically about, like the vision, how he got here, and what he has set in store for the future. So, without further ado, Martin, thank you for having us visit your locale. How's things going?
Smooth, good. We are here located on the corner of Corrales and Alameda. We've taken over the old Boxing Bear location, and things are off to a good start for us.
Yeah, and one of the things that'll help out with this whole dialogue, this interview, is sipping a little bit of this brouhaha. I have a Dunkel. You have a
Red.
A red. I like them dark, and apparently he does too. So, So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this distillery, but most importantly, the vision. One of the things that I've thought about on the drive here is, most people are living their life chasing their dreams, and in particular, you are living your dream. And I'd just like to know, how are you making this dream come true for you?
A step at a time.
Yeah.
Dreams, I think, are big, lofty ideas, but to achieve them, honestly, it takes a lot of really small steps. So for me, it's been a step at a time. I started in alcohol in 2013. I had just graduated from college, and I had bought one of those homebrew kits where you can make beer in your garage and add it in a bucket or something. And I fell in love.
Most people fail, by the way.
I failed so many times. Oh my gosh. Some of those were barely palatable, but we've come a long way.
Yeah.
So that's what we call getting bit by the bug, where I was really fascinated with alcohol manufacturing, styles of beer, craft beer boom hit around that time. Quickly got into whiskey and distilled spirits, so I haven't really looked back since then. A step at a time has been learning the craft, knowing the process, refining that process, making it better and better, more iterations, learning about the business side of things. I always knew that I wanted to own my own brewery distillery, and that has been a big undertaking, but I think we've done really well as a team. I've definitely surrounded myself with the right friends and key players that have helped drive the ball forward.
Yeah, that's probably the most important part, right? Is surround yourself by good people that put faith in you, trust in you, but they're going to help you make the right decisions. They'll have those honest conversations with you about hey, this is working, maybe we change this up.
Totally. Right? I think that's anything, man. A dream or a passion is so difficult to make into reality. So whatever you're passionate, whatever your goals are, you really have to love it, because it's almost impossible to get things from an idea or a dream into reality. So having the right people around you, being determined and never giving up, I think is having grit. Something
Absolutely.
Is really important.
So when people come here, they're not going to know the whole story. When they're watching this, they're going to know a lot about you, right? A lot more before they came here. That's kind of the goal, right? But what do you hope people experience when they come here? What's your overall vision for that?
A couple things. I think first off is a comfortable environment. I think having a space that is comfortable, warm, has a nice ambiance, and really just a magic to it.
Yeah, right.
I think about my grandma's house, some old school house in Mexico, and I could tell you walk in and it feels like home.
Right.
The floors are made of stone, really old school stuff, but you just feel this magic.
Traditional, right? There's a sense of tradition. There's a sense of feeling homegrown, right? Down to earth.
Like a comfort, right?
Yeah.
It's almost, even to grandma's or your mother's cooking, right? A plate from your mom's kitchen tastes way different than getting the same plate made from somewhere else at maybe an establishment or someone else's home. But that's the feel I'm going for, right? It's just, this feels like home.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the first thing I want folks to experience when they come here. And then two is just my love for the product, right? We do a really good job to execute on the products that we make sure they're not just balanced right in the recipe, but that they appear correctly, right? That you have a lager that's clear, that you have a lager that's aged the appropriate amount of time. You have the right head, the right amount of hops in a product for style. For whiskeys, make sure that it's balanced, to make sure that it's not so thin but has some body to it, right?
Yep.
You see those legs in the dram. Those are the things that really, for me, it's the passion behind the artistry behind making beverage and products, and that's really tough to do. It's taken years to learn how to do that and to refine it, and I hope that comes across in the glass.
It is for me. Like, this is a fantastic dunkel, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I think a passion for the craft is what it sounds like. You want people to walk away knowing, like, hey, this guy takes it serious. He's doing it the right way, right? And me being from Albuquerque, we have a few breweries. People have choices, and it's good to know, like, when they come here, they're going to have that home feel. Like, and there's a comfort to it. So I like that a lot. What do you like about this location in particular?
Our patio is phenomenal. I like that. The ambiance that you have to come through it. There's a lot of nature. The bosque is right there, so you can really see a lot of trees and a lot of really just the space that Albuquerque has to offer when you think of, like, not just a desert, but a river valley.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know how to get here, it's literally on the corner of Alameda and Corrales, and it's at the south entrance of Corrales. So just as you're making your way through Corrales, like, this is where you're going to find yourself. It's literally at the entrance, at the mouth of Corrales.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And I do like that bosque feel. For maybe some of you guys that will be visiting Albuquerque, don't know what to expect. Literally, the bosque means the forest, right? It means forest in Spanish. And what you'll notice right away is just how big the trees are here. You're surrounded in it. A lot of nature. There's a lot of waterways or tributaries that come through here. The Rio Grande is just east of here. You can't miss it. And I think this is such a great location because you get, like, in particular, a lot of the change in the leaves. So now that it's turning fall, the leaves are changing. It's just a great vibe to be here, especially, like, to sit outside. It's crisp, but not so cold that you're not comfortable. Like, you still feel cozy out here. So
on that topic, actually, that's what I love about the outside of the building. Inside, and really just about this place historically, this has been a bar for over 30 years. So before us, Box and Bear was here for about a decade. Before that, it was Elliot's, which was, from what I understand, was like a dive bar-esque kind of location.
Okay.
And then there was a steakhouse in here before that.
And you guys serve food.
We do serve food here.
We serve food. Okay, yeah. You guys serve food. So what kind of food do you serve here?
Spanish-style food, tacos, quesadillas, burritos, things of that nature. When we thought about our brand, we decided, well, we got to do something that's true to us. So a lot of the food really reflects a lot of the cuisine that I like to enjoy, but I think also a lot of New Mexicans.
Yeah.
So I think it pairs well also with some of the drinks we push out, right? It's hard to pass up a taco when you're having a beer. It's hard to pass up, some loaded French fries when you're having some cocktails.
Nothing pairs quite as good as, like, beer and Mexican food, like tacos. Yeah, beer and tacos. Like, you can't get that wrong. You really can't. But on that note, like, what are you feeling really good about that you have on tap right now that you want people to check you out?
We have several products, actually. So you mentioned the Dunkel. I think that has been a flagship for us. One of the more ordered items that we have. Very well balanced, clean, light, and gives you that nice robust taste you're looking for in a dark lager, a little maltier. Mm-hmm. We have a hazy IPA, which I think is phenomenal, right? Look at all the fruit notes that you're looking for. Not so much a pronounced bitterness, but a nice fruity flavor profile. I think we've done a good job with that. And our light lagers, our Mexican lager is great. We have another lager called La Gringa.
Okay. Tell me about that one, because that one's got a lot of homegrown ingredients and love to it.
Yeah, it's actually all New Mexico products. For all those of you that love to support local, this gets no more local. The grains are literally grown here. They're grown near, it's called Schwiebach Farms. They're just outside of Moriarty.
Okay.
So grown here, malted here, which is pretty rare for locally sourcing ingredients.
Yep.
The water comes from here in that product. Even the hops, we use Aztec hops on that. Those are grown near the Los Alamos area. So
okay.
It gets no more tried and true than La Gringa.
Yeah. And for those of you guys who may not know Los Alamos, you've probably seen it in the movies, right? But Los Alamos is in a high desert, high mountain region, beautiful area, and I imagine that like there's just something about that terroir that's going to come through on that beer.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in the grain.
Yep.
You'll notice in the grain on La Gringa, we'll have some pints after.
Sure.
It's got a really nice fruity character to it. It's light, crisp, and clean. So I think it's a really good product that we'll use for most of our products here going forward. We definitely want to partner with Schwebach on that.
All right. So do you have any projects that you're currently working on that are coming out in the future that you're excited for?
Yeah, right behind us is our new brewing and distilling equipment. We just procured this from a local brewery that wanted to live on through a next venture. So we've been able to pick it up. This will allow us to more than double our current taps.
Very cool.
A lot more beer styles, a lot more stout, a lot more IPA, a lot more lagers, and I definitely want to experiment with some smaller batches of styles you may not see around town anymore.
Did you just say stout?
I did say stout, yeah.
Okay. All right, he did say stout.
Yeah, like Abbey style beer, I think is something that folks aren't really making a whole lot, but I've always been a big fan. So if you like, there was a brand a while back called Monks.
Monks, yes.
Yeah, they would do a double, a triple.
Did they shut down? I think they shut down, right? They stopped making beer or something?
I think, I'm not sure the whole story. I think the brand still survives through a manufacturer, but I'm not sure that they're brewing anymore.
Okay. Well, that's sad because that's actually my number 2 beer besides stout is Abbey's.
Really?
Yes, I love Abbey's. Fantastic. But this is not about me. So you have that in the works, or you're going to have that in the works, correct?
I think that's something that's been lost, right? I think the modern climate now is breweries have focused on what the Burqueños want to drink, and we'll definitely offer that. This is definitely a IPA and lager town.
Yeah. I think a lot of towns are IPAs.
Yeah.
Right. The lagers, the lighter stuff is what most people grab, especially because here is so hot. It's always sunny. It's usually warm. Most folks don't want something heavy or filling, but stouts, Abbeys, the quads. I don't know if you're going to venture into the quads. I think you said you would, but like the more like denser, heftier beers that kind of separate the adults from the children, right? Is what you're going to be making. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and just I guess to finish that talking point, I think because folks in the area have focused on what really moves, this sort of lost in translation some of the reasons why people would go to a craft brewery anyway, which is to try different flavors and to explore different expressions of current styles. So that's something that I don't want to lose here. We'll offer the core parts of Burqueño beer that people love, while maintaining some of those rotating taps of things that you may not really find around town anymore. Not like you used to, at least. Before we get moving, distillery.
Yes.
So Whiskey One is whiskey, right? So that's something that I'm really passionate about. I want to talk about that a little bit. You can't make a whiskey until you know how to make a beer, right? Knowing how to process grains. All of your bourbons are majority corn. A lot of barley in that. So I think folks knowing where ingredients are sourced from, knowing the mash bills is something I'm going to be transparent about.
Great.
I plan to source all of our grains for bourbon style whiskey, single malt style whiskey, and rye as much as I can locally. I know that New Mexico produces a good amount of wheat, barley, and corn.
Okay.
So I am trying to bottle New Mexico as much as we can, so we can really be proud of a flagship product here. Shout out to Daniel, who loves Jack Daniels.
Yep.
want-
Daniel Warren, right?
Daniel
Shout out
Warren.
to Daniel Warren from the Albuquerque Whiskey Society.
He loves Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels isn't even bourbon. It's Tennessee whiskey.
That's right.
I want to make the
I call it
flagship.
bourbon.
Yeah.
I call it bourbon because I'm a weirdo like that. But go ahead.
I want to make a flagship New Mexico whiskey,
Yeah,
right? That
yeah.
people can see synonymous with, the state of New Mexico, flagship company that really does it right and stays tried and true to not just the ingredients grown here, but the water, the profile, right? Use what we have here locally and represent the people here.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, stay tuned. Check out the rest of this video as we take a deeper dive behind the scenes, behind what's behind the curtain. All right, Martin. So now we are trying
La Gringa.
La Gringa. And this is what we were talking about, right? The homegrown, fully authentic New Mexican lager, right? And before we get into questions, we need to have a cheers, so. Oh, that's good. That's nice and crisp. And so what kind of grains are you using for the lager?
Predominantly, it's a blend of two-row base malt and Pilsner malt.
All right, so I'm going to fire off a couple questions just off the top of your head, like fire back at me.
Rock and roll.
I know it's going to be a little harder because it's always like seasonal, but what's your favorite beer to drink?
Favorite beer to drink changes for me. Right now, I'm really enjoying Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Okay.
They just put out an Oktoberfest that I thought was really tasty, but even their base lager is phenomenal. So I'm a huge fan of theirs. And in the summers, I like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Okay. Favorite stout?
Favorite stout, Old Rasputin.
Old Rasputin. Oh my.
Rasputin.
You know, that's actually where I cut my teeth. Yes. So it started with, obviously Guinness. Everybody starts with the Guinness, but like where I really started to like appreciate the craft was Old Rasputin.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have a particular beer that you're about ready to make that you really want people to like get ready for?
On our new brew system that we're installing, it's a 10-barrel system. Patrick Starkey's going to be a part of this. We are going to do a Galaxy Forward IPA.
Okay.
And call it, I think he has a name for it. I think it's going to be called Star Power.
Star Power.
It's like Starkey,
Okay.
Star
Yeah.
Power.
Starkey, Star Power.
So something like
All
that,
right.
yeah.
Shout out to Patrick Starkey, our friend who's helping Martin out. He's active duty and he's retiring after I think 24 years. So big shout out to him and the Air Force, of course. So you're already making Star Power. Have you thought about what you're going to name your stout?
Not yet, but I would love to do a poll with the whiskey community. Send us some names.
Okay.
So our brewery distillery is called Calavida Cantina. Calavida is a playoff on Day of the Dead. So any underworld themes, any really cool supernatural themes, I'm a huge fan of.
Next question. You know you're going to make a whiskey. What's the first whiskey you're going to make or that you want to make?
First whiskey that I want to make. It's definitely going to be bourbon. I think the bourbon style is not just hugely popular in America, but for me, it's a classic style because it's so wood forward, and I'm a huge fan of wood flavors. So for folks that aren't familiar with bourbon, it's mostly corn, made in America, and must be aged in virgin oak. It's that new oak profile that gives it the richness that it really needs, the color for sure, right? You'll see a rise in like Texas or Southwest style whiskeys that they'll get like Still Austin's a good example of this. In 2 years, you'll get something that takes Scotland maybe like 10 or 12 years to achieve, right? So for us, I think attacking a bourbon product that's made in New Mexico, the nice rich, bold flavors of the wood, it's something we'll attack first.
In 5 years, where do you see yourself?
Game of world domination, baby.
All right.
Take over the world. I definitely want to make sure that we're known in New Mexico for a New Mexico product. I mentioned earlier the Jack Daniels is sort of the front face for most of Tennessee whiskey, if not, I think all, but I think George Dickel's done a really good job as well. For us, I really want to make sure that our product screams New Mexico. And we want to do a really good job of that, not just on the branding component, but also on the source of ingredients, the quality of the product, and highlighting where those products come from, those source ingredients come from. I mentioned earlier, we have local farmers in the Albuquerque area. A little further east, there's some farmers that grow corn and wheat that we want to bring in so that we can truly say it's New Mexico made, grown, and sourced.
Yeah. So if you guys are not from New Mexico, just know people from New Mexico are all about authenticity and supporting local and knowing that like what you're tasting, what you're drinking is authentically New Mexican. So I have a feeling like that's going to go really well with the folks that are either from New Mexico or the folks that are visiting. So excited for that and excited for you and your venture.
Thanks, man.
Wish you nothing but success. So
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the equipment we're bringing in. We will definitely do pot still for sure. For whiskey connoisseurs and fans, or geeks like myself, I'm a huge fan of pot distilled products. You tend to get a little bit more flavor out of those. So we'll definitely attack a lot of it through a pot still. I'm going to play around a little bit with some column distillation to see what kind of flavors we can bring out of that may highlight some aspects of the product that we want to focus on. I'll be doing walkthroughs, hangouts, meet the distiller.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit more about that as we refine the process and really find what works for us and works for the community. But for sure, see a play on of pot distilled product blended with column distilled product. Yep. And I'll walk through a little bit more of that in those classes and those like tours, as it were. How do y'all feel about doing finishes in like port casks or finishes in wine casks? I know this has been a big movement, more recent than before. I think Angel's Envy was one of the big ones that started off with finishing a bourbon in a wine or like ruby or
X-cask
of some sort. So shout out below in the comments. Please let me know if you're interested in some of those kind of products. I think they add a different level of complexity and are easy one up to maybe a Corrales that we have. Say we have a tried and true New Mexico whiskey. We can also do that finished in a tequila cask, a rum cask, a port cask, right? So let us know what you want, and we're happy to experiment and get those out for you.
For sure. I'm happy you said tequila cask because I think not enough distillers actually take the time to age in a tequila cask. Those that are making like single malts in particular, that seems to be a great like transition. It's got a lot of notes that you otherwise wouldn't get from a lot of typical American single malts. It just adds a lot of depth to it. I really like how tequila casks or that tequila finishes like adds an extra layer of flavor to it.
Totally, yeah. So
you're making tequila, right? Or you're going to make tequila?
We're gonna make tequila. What we won't make is agave spirit, right? This is there's a lot of really good producers that do it now, and I want to pay respect to them for definitely making that product in New Mexico. One of the flaws that I see in just agave spirits made stateside is that it's typically made from a syrup, right? So this is akin to making a bourbon from corn syrup. You lose a ton of the flavor just from the refining process of the sugar base. We will build a tequila pipeline. I'm happy to be Mexican as well. I have partners in Mexico that will build a pipeline for it and making sure that it's true and authentic to the flavor, and it retains all those nice, rich characters that you typically want to see in a tequila. So we will have tequila. As far as tequila cask, I'm glad you said single malt. I'm a huge fan of single malt. American single malt just became a category. We'll definitely be hopping onto that flagship for sure to drive forward single malt as an American product alongside of rye and bourbon. One of the old distilleries I worked for originally was Balcones Distilling in Texas, in Waco. They recently became acquired by Diageo. Back when I was with them, they actually used to age baby blue in tequila casks.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have a bottle. I have a few bottles.
Yeah, so I have some of those bottles. They've since, and I don't want to speak for them, but from what I understand, that process has changed a little bit. Okay. I want to go back to let's age products in tequila barrels. I think there's a lot of flavor there that can really play along with the nice malt characters, especially with locally sourced grains and hops. Locally sourced grains, barley, and corn. I think we could do a really, really cool product.
Honestly, with whiskey and specifically American single malt, sky's the limit. Like, there's not as many limitations, I feel like, than you would have with, say, a traditional bourbon, because making bourbon already has a ton of rules around it. American single malt has less.
Yeah,
right.
So there was a commission that was started. Santa Fe Spirits was part of that commission, as well as Balcones. The definition is pretty open-ended, so it allows for new or used casks. That in and of itself opens the world up a lot to the complexity and different approaches to the style. So I'm excited what the new producers in today's 2020s will make out of American single malt. I think we'll be a part of that, and we'll have our own flair on it and see how it goes.
All right. Well, without further ado, I'm excited to get back there and check out actually how the distillery is coming along. So
let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.